Welcome to the Mom Self-Care Podcast, your safe space to finally focus on YOU. I'm Twitty-Hawkins, your self-care coach for moms, praying wife, and mom of four. And I know that being a Christ-centered mom is such a beautiful calling, but it can be so draining. That's why it's important to make sure you are filling your own cup. On this podcast, we'll discuss practical, holistic self-care strategies to help nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Because a mama who fills her own cup pours that back into her family with true peace and joy. Tune in for honest conversations about motherhood and self-care because you matter too. Blessings, mamas, and welcome to the Mom Self-Care Podcast. I'm Twitty-Hawkins, your host, and today I have special guest, Rashatta Daugett. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you for being with us. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of setting boundaries and protecting your peace. Because a lot of us as mamas, we want peace, right? Yes.
Yes. It's a mess.
Yes, indeed. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Nice.
Let me tell you a little bit about Rashatta. Rashatta Daugett is a faith-driven leader, author, speaker, and entrepreneur, passionate about empowering women to live purposely and sustainably. With over 27 years in ministry and community leadership, she serves as founder of Thrive Bridge Alliance Incorporated and a leader with Livestream Consulting LLC. Rashatta mentors women in faith, leadership, entrepreneurship, and legacy building while balancing life as a wife and mother. She is also the host of the Just Rashatta podcast, where she uplifts and equips women to grow spiritually, personally, and professionally. Yay, Rashatta! Okay, so what made you start becoming passionate about sharing with moms how to set boundaries and protect their peace?
It really came about in the last couple of years, actually, after having my two youngest children back to back. And it just became really apparent to me that we need rest. We do need to set boundaries with other people. We find ourselves a lot of times going at the expense of our own ability to take care of ourselves, at the expense of not doing all of the things that we need to do to make sure that we're okay so that others are okay. And, I was like, if I die tomorrow, life is still going to go on and everybody's going to figure it out. So me taking time, me making sure that I let people know what's important to me, and also allowing myself to have that time to myself is not robbing anyone except for myself. And so I really started to be intentional, even with my business dealings and working, to make sure that everyone understood what my priorities were up front. And if you couldn't work with it, it's okay. I love you still. But these are my priorities and this is what's important to me. So like for my business, like no one gets in touch with me before noon. Like there's no business. Unless you're calling to check on us, unless you're calling to, shoot the breeze, I'm not handling any business before noon because that's my time that I've prioritized to be with my little ones. They're only little for so long. And I don't want the hustle and the bustle of business and trying to do things for other people to interfere with me being able to bond with them. Sometimes we just lay in the bed. Sometimes we wrestle in the bed because I have two boys. And so they're like all over my head there. And, I make breakfast. I ask them what they want. That's our time of the day. And I'm very strict about that. I don't, unless it's like something super, super important, I'm not scheduling anything during that time because I want them to know that they're important to me. And it was a little bit different with my older two because there was such an age gap. There's an 8-year age gap between my oldest and my first son. And so my oldest is 25. Well, she'll be 25 this year. And my 13-year-old, but then I have these two that are very close together. I have a 4-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. So they're close together and they need all of the time that they can get to make sure that, especially the little one, the 4-year-old, he doesn't feel like he's getting the short end of the stick because I had a baby so soon. And so he still wants mommy time and lovey-dovey time. And so I want to make sure that I have allocated enough time so that they don't feel left out or left behind.
Right. I love that. You said something really good that like setting boundaries, it does not take away from anybody else, but me, but from the person who's not setting the boundaries.
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
like, that's so good. And
Because
it's
when
true.
I was recovering, people called and checked on me and things of that nature, but I was still the one left with having to figure out how to heal. I had my last pregnancy ended in a C-section. And so I was not only trying to heal from the act of, being pregnant, but also of having a major surgery and also still having to take care of little ones. I had 2 toddlers that were nursing and well, babies
Yeah.
that were nursing and all of that. And I had to figure it out, everybody else had their own life and they had their own responsibilities in life. And so there was no one in particular, with the exception of my husband, that could be there. And he couldn't even be there all the time because he had to get up and go to work. So, it was just me. And I'm like, hey, I need to rest. I need to, sleep. I need to do all of these things. And right now, I can't be everything for everybody like I've always been. And I just realized that it was helping other people and it got me to have a lot of great opportunities, always being available, always there for other people. At the end of the day, I was the one that, needed to make sure that I take care of myself. And so in the last couple of years, I've just learned that, it's not nasty or being mean, like, you can't call. It's just allowing people to know that, hey, this is where I am right now. I know I used to be able to, just get up and go, but I don't even want to do that anymore because I have to make sure that I'm taken care of, and I have to make sure that my babies are taken care of too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something else you said that was good. I used to be able, but now, we have different seasons of our lives
Mhm.
where our boundaries may change.
Exactly. And it's okay. And if people actually care about you and that they actually love you, they'll be just fine. They will go with the ebb and flows of your life. They'll move how you need them to move. The only people who have problems with boundaries or you changing the boundaries that you had before are people who are using you anyway. And so you didn't want them in your life anyways.
Exactly.
It kind of weeds out that way. But I found that no one, thankfully, in my life I had to get rid of because of these boundaries. Everyone was very supportive in my life and very, hey, and so now they're even like, hey, am I doing too much? Or am I asking too much? Do I need to please let me know? They're even, and it's just a matter of communicating with the people that you are dealing with, whether it's in business or personal, and, just really seeing how they respond. And so I'm thankful that everyone responded and are like, yeah, you need to definitely do that. Like, I agree. Like, and they're keeping me honest. Like, hey, are we doing too much? Is it too late? Is it too early?
I love that. I love that.
And that just builds when you and that forms an even deeper bond with other people, because when you set those boundaries and they even keep you honest with those boundaries, then that just reinforces the fact that you're dealing with people that actually care about you and not just what you can do for them and not just what you bring to the table. They actually care about you. And so that makes your relationship with those people even stronger and even more intentional, because you know that you all aren't just in this thing because of the money that you can make together or what you can do for them, but because they actually love you and now you can freely love them as well.
And show other people how I say when you do that, you show, and of course, I'm going to say your kids, you show your children how to set boundaries as well. They're like, oh, mommy knows how to say no.
Mhm.
Okay. I need to be able to do that, even though sometimes we don't like when they say no, but that's what we're teaching them.
It was good because my daughter, she's 24, and she'll say, okay, mom, I know we're doing this, but I got this on the table. And she and like you said, it teaches them how to set those boundaries, because I'll be like, girl, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, I need you to do because she is in production. She does a lot of things as far as video editing and things of that nature. And so I call upon her for clients and all that, and she'll stop me and be like, okay, mom, like, I'm still in school now. Like, I still got to do my schoolwork, And so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Like, let me know. And so now I'm like, hey, give me a timeline when we can get this done, when we can do this. And, like you said, it teaches our children how to set boundaries and that it's okay to say, I can't right now, but let's work out a way, maybe, in the near future for me to do something.
Why do you think it's so hard for moms to set boundaries with, especially with, the people that they are close to and that they love?
I think we just have a internal, I don't know, we just innately want to help. Our makeup is nurturing, our makeup is helping, our makeup on a natural level is to come to the rescue. Like, somebody has a need and we can feel it, we're gonna do it. And we have to learn how to actually dial that back so that we are not stretching ourselves too thin. My mom had a come to Jesus moment with me, and my best friend, she took us out to breakfast, and she had us like write down like how much time do you spend on specific activities all the way down to, and then it was like how much time do you spend with yourself each week, and what's the balance in that, and being able to see that written down. Even though I have my boundaries, I still wasn't spending the time that I needed to spend for myself. And my mom sees everything, from an eagle's eye view. So she's like, okay, I see you doing this. I see you in school. You got the boys, you got all of this going on. And we were actually talking to her about the nonprofit Thrive Bridge. And she's like, well, it's a great thing. Maybe you all need to kind of figure out like where this fits in and making sure that you can actually spend the time necessary to build this up in a way that it needs to with everything else that you have going on. Maybe you have it, but maybe you work on it little by little and not try to push everything all at once. And so it's given us the wisdom that was needed for us to kind of work through in our own mind to set boundaries, even for ourselves. Like, there's so many things that we want to do and we have great ideas, but those ideas aren't necessarily for right now. And so actually being able to pace ourselves to say, okay, yes, God gave me an idea, but it might not be for me to do at this moment. It may just be like him putting it on the radar, like, put this in the back of your mind. It's a heads up of where I want to take you. So just even being aware and making sure that you just take the time. Like, now it's even down to where I make sure I take the time to do my face routine, to, my regimen for my face, my hair routine, both morning and night, because those things are important. Those things it's taking care of myself, my supplements, making sure that I take the time, to take those and all of the things, because it was at one point I was still, even though I was having the time with the boys, but I still wasn't taking the time for myself and making sure those things were done. I'm just getting up going. The day is gone. I haven't taken my supplements. I haven't taken done the things that I needed to do. And so I said, okay, Rashatta, you need to take even more time. You need to take more time to pray and to spend time with the Lord and all of those good things. And just, it's a work in progress, but I think it's just a part of our nature to help, and we can't help but to help. And so we have to learn how to dial it back and put those things in perspective.
Yes. We have to learn how to help ourselves too.
Yes. Put ourselves on the help list.
Yes. Like, I need help too, girl. That is so good. I love that you said she had y'all write down. That's a good practice. Like, write down how much time you spending on something, and then how much time you spending on you. Like,
Yeah.
That's what my daughter does. Like, if I ask her something, she knows she did it. She's like, huh? I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, my
That's a really
mom,
good idea.
she's the life coach before life coaching was a thing.
I love that. That's a blessing to have, for real. So, and I think you did mention this. I think you were saying in relationship with yourself, where it's like, I'm not being mean or anything, but a lot of moms do feel that way, like setting boundaries, saying no, or whatever the case may be, is mean. But it's actually honoring your temple. It's actually something God wants you to do. So, how do they set those boundaries while honoring God, while understanding that this is actually holy work? It's not, I'm being mean.
It's actually believing that. That's the first thing. You have to actually believe that this is something that God would have me to do. This is not something that's dishonoring him. I even teach my sons boundaries because they like to get up in my lap. They like to be held and cuddled. Even when I'm eating, they're done eating because, they get fed first. And so they're all done with their food. They're all full and happy. So now they want some love. And I'm like, I'm sitting down to eat, son.
Right.
And, sometimes I'll let them, but they know that that's a treat. But most of the time, I'm like, no, I'm not picking you up. Mommy is eating right now. I'm eating my food just like you were, eating your food. And that's because I want to enjoy, I need to be able to enjoy my food. That's good. That's good mental health for me.
Mhm.
That's ministering to myself. I'm not, I'm able to eat my food in such a way that I'm not getting indigestion because I'm trying to hurry up. I'm trying to hold him. And they're at an age now where they're not babies. They can feed themselves. They can go preoccupy themselves. They can blow up the playroom. They can do a whole bunch of other stuff while I eat. And so it's not me rejecting them because I'm asking them to wait to be held until mommy finishes eating. It's them learning how to respect mommy and her time in what she's doing as well. We teach people how to treat us, even down to our children. My children, my older children, they know there's certain things that we've taught them, like when my door is closed and daddy's in the room, you always knock, period. Why? Because this is mommy and daddy's time.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And don't interrupt mommy and daddy's time. Even if you knock, let it be something important if you're knocking on the door and mommy and daddy are in the room, because it's mommy and daddy's time together. And so it's still, even outside of that, it's mommy's time to eat, mommy's time to do her nails, mommy's time to use the restroom. All moms know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, why is there a party in here? Like, why? Can y'all please exit until I'm done? But, even those things are it's just important. It's good for our mental stability. It gives us time to breathe. It gives us time to have our own thoughts, to think about whatever we need to think about at the moment. Sometimes I like to eat and sometimes I'm scrolling on my phone, or sometimes I'm even finishing up schoolwork while I'm eating or things of that nature. And it just frees me to be able to do whatever I want to do during this time, because this is mommy's time to eat and I can spend it however I want to spend it. And just helping them learn how to respect that. I think first and foremost, going full circle, because I could talk a lot, going full circle back around, is just believing that that is actually something that God will have us to do. And that once you believe it, you will actually execute on it. It won't be hard. You won't feel bad if you actually believe that me taking time and me setting these boundaries actually is something that God sees as good. And it won't even be a big deal. You like, y'all go sit down somewhere. Y'all all right?
I love it. Yes, y'all all right?
I tell my sons in a heartbeat, y'all all right?
You said something else good. It teaches them to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. And when you honor your own boundaries, then you're respecting yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So that's important to have self-respect. For moms who don't set boundaries, a lot of times we don't really realize what we're dealing with emotionally and physically. What do those moms struggle with on the day-to-day that they may be ignoring or trying to pretend doesn't exist?
When you don't set boundaries, you are piling on internal stress. It's the unconscious stress that sneaks up on you in health ways that, your body starts going crazy. You're like, what's going on? And it's because you have unintentional stress. It's not the things that you are actually focused on and worrying about at the forefront of your mind. It's things that's in the back of your mind that, oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh, I have to do this for this person. I got to go there. And it builds up a form of anxiety in your body where you're constantly feeling like, I gotta. And you're constantly in flight mode, And it's not even a fight mode, it's flight. It's always, I need to, and you don't relax. You don't take that time to sit and have a cup of tea. Like, one of the things that I love doing is just sitting with a cup of tea and looking out the window. Like, we have a lot of forestry in our backyard. I say we have a lot of nature around us. And so sometimes I just take some tea, not a long time, 15, 20 minutes, and I just look at the birds flying. I look at the squirrels and when you take time to do those things, you get to thinking about the goodness of the Lord, the fact that he made all this stuff. And you look at the clouds, especially on a beautiful sunny day, you just be like, God, you're so good. And it just builds up a thankfulness in you that gives you that extra oomph to keep going. So you have to take time to just get in a quiet place so that you can become thankful. Getting in quiet places and just having time to sit and think with your own thoughts, looking around and not always having to do and go and on somebody else's time clock. It actually gives you time to think about the goodness of the Lord. And that's what keeps us running. I mean, for me, it keeps that keeps my juice going.
Yes,
And,
yes.
because it makes you excited about it. It brings about the excitement of life all over again, what could be, what's possible, and it drowns out the things that feel mundane and always, I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. It drowns all that out, and it energizes you in a way that can't even really be described. How such a small bit of time just thinking on just the Lord and how good he's been in your life, or just looking at, the nature around you and just things and just relaxing and having a good cup of tea. Like, if y'all see our tea stash, it is ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to say you were the first person that I've talked to. I love a good cup of tea. Most people like coffee, but I'm like, I'm a tea girl.
Dude, I like coffee too. We have a coffee stash too, but our tea stash is one to be rivaled with.
I love that.
I mean, if you can think of it, we probably got it.
Mhm.
And so it's just being able to just sit and relax and just kind of think of the goodness of the Lord, not in a Lord, I just thank you, not in a worship way, but in a thoughtful and intentionally thoughtful way. Just like, man, God's been so good. Like, look at what I do have. Look at the land that I have. Look at the house that I have, the children that I have, the things that they've accomplished. How cute they are, how smart they are. Like, all of those things, they're gifts from God.
Yes, it is. And you were talking about the constantly going of your mind, that mental load of motherhood. That is what a lot of moms don't talk about. But you're right. When you don't set boundaries, you're always doing the things, and then you're always thinking about the next thing that you got to do. It's craziness. It's craziness.
And it just puts a lot of weight on your shoulders. We have a lot that we have to do as moms that comes with the territory. But taking that time, 10 or 15 minutes, I'm telling you, try it. It will re-energize you and give you like super mom speed. I'm like, I got little boys, y'all, so everything is super speed, it's superhero stuff. So that's what my life consists of right now. So yeah, but it will make you feel like you have like superpowers to just keep moving and keep going, and not from a place on empty, but from a place of fullness, of excitement about what could be. I just can't stress it enough. Like, when you're constantly having to think about things, about what needs to happen, you start getting loaded down and weighted down, and life doesn't. That's where depression comes in. That's where, suicidal thoughts. I just want to let it all go away. That's when those types of things start to creep in, because you feel like you're in a constant uphill battle that can never be won. But when you take that little time, that battle seems like, I don't want to battle. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Yes, that is so true. I say that all the time. Even if it's, you said 10 or 15, but I'm like, even if it's 2 minutes, sometimes if you can just, for like a few minutes, regulate your nervous system, breathe, pray, whatever, sometimes that will help. Like you said, you keep going, you keep pushing. Yes, indeed. So for a mom she's listening, she's like, oh, I know I need to set boundaries, but I don't know where to start. What would you recommend that she could start doing today?
I would start with you. Start with what what you know you need to do for yourself, and don't compromise on that. So for me, it was making sure that I did my face regimen, because my face was baking out all kind of crazy at one point. And I was like, I got these products. It doesn't make any sense for my face to be looking crazy. So I am going to take time in the morning, and I don't care what the boys are doing. Sometimes I can just tell them to get out. Sometimes I have to lock them out. But I'm going to take my time in the morning, wash my face, brush my teeth, and just get prepared for the day. And I'm going to take that time for me. I'm going to make sure that I take all of the supplements I need. I'm perimenopausal right now, and so my life depends on
Me too, girl.
my
Lord, help us.
supplements. The difference between me being nice mommy and monster mommy depends on me taking my supplements. So again, that is self-care. So making sure that I sit down at my desk and I take all my supplements. I don't let them rush me. Baby, that I call my youngest baby, he cup, because he just feels like his throat is a desert and he got to have something to drink at every moment. And I'll be like, wait a minute, son. Mommy is taking her supplements and letting them figure out how to wait. And it's okay to make people wait. And it's okay to put things to the side. So I say start with you. When you start with you, then you are refreshed, you're renewed, and you are able to then tackle whatever else needs to happen. And then you'll find it easier to make boundaries for other things once you make those boundaries for yourself. Because truth be told, it's hard. The hardest boundaries to set is the ones that we set for ourselves. Because we don't want to be mean. We don't want to seem like we're not, caring. We don't want to seem like we are being selfish and only thinking about ourselves. And in actuality, we're incapable of only thinking about ourselves because we're moms. We're always thinking about somebody else. It's actually, we have to actually be intentional about thinking about ourselves. And so this is the start of being intentional about thinking about yourselves and setting those boundaries. So I would say start with you. What's important for you and what's important for your everyday routine. And once you do that, you'll be able to start seeing the other boundaries that need to happen in your life. And like we talked about earlier, that may change from year to year, but at least you're starting.
Right. At least you're in practice. All right. And something I ask all of my guests, what is your favorite form of self-care?
Oh, my favorite form of self-care. I have a lot of forms. I would have to say my favorite form of self-care actually is just simply spending time with my family. I like to do things kind of like movie nights. So like we have movies, sometimes we watch movies, but I actually like to do we have like a whole movie theater type night in our home. And so I get the little baskets so you can have nachos and the hot dogs and have the little concession stand. So those things make me feel good, and having everybody in their pajamas and we all pile up on the couch on blankets. That is like self-care to me. But outside of self-care without anyone else is simply, being by myself in the room. Like I have a Christian crossword searches. So I'll sit and just do my word searches and, maybe have some tea. I like mushroom coffee more now so than I did now. And instead of like coffee bean coffee. So now I'm on my mushroom coffee kick. So I'll have, some coffee or some tea and just sit down and chill with my word searches. But yeah, it's just so many different things. A lot of it has to do with sitting down, reflecting, and doing something that's not mentally strenuous to the point of where I feel like I'm doing, work, but it also is stimulating in a way that I'm able to reflect and, on the goodness of the Lord. Sitting outside in my gazebo when it's like the springtime, that's also, my form of self-care. I get away in the gazebo and just sit out there and just kind of just take it all in. I like a lot of time in nature or to myself in my room to just kind of take all in of everything that God is doing. the possibilities of what he could do. So yeah, that's my self-care. It's not like nails and stuff like that. I do my own nails, but
That's good. I love that. Taking the time to just reflect and be present. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I just like, I love taking in what God is doing and just kind of sitting back and sitting in it for a while. I'm always very intentional about just taking time to think about the goodness of the Lord. I've always been like that. And so that's where I find my happy place, if you will. So whenever I have a chance to just be quiet and be still, that's the happy place for me, wherever I can be still.
That's a beautiful thing. All right. Do you have a free gift for our audience?
What I'm going to do is provide, I'm a business consultant and things of that nature. I have a list of godly affirmations for women. You can print them out, or in there, they're going to be like printout cards.
Okay. Well, I will have that information for you guys down in the description. Well, thank you so much, Rashatta. I have
Thank you for
enjoyed talking
having
with you.
me. It's been exciting. I've had a lot of fun. I'm just getting back into doing things like this because, the babies. So
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, it was a blessing having you on the show. Hopefully, mamas, this blessed you as well and just encourage you and empowered you to start or continue to set boundaries in your life to protect your peace because we need it.
yes.
Okay, we need it. All right. Well, if this blessed you, make sure you share it with the mama you love, leave a review, and subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, take care. God bless. Thanks so much for joining me for the Mom Self Care Podcast. I hope you feel inspired to make yourself a priority too. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Share this podcast with another mama you love and leave a review. Also, feel free to let me know what you would like to hear about in future episodes by visiting me on Instagram at CIC Inspire Me. Until next time, take some time to take care of YOU because you matter too.